Hey everybody, my name is Patrick and this is Rocky Mountain Style. If this is your first time here, welcome. I'm glad you took the time to click on the video. And if it's not your first time here, welcome back and thank you for the continued support. Today we're talking about this, the N-1 Watchtower deck coat from Aught Design. Aught Design is a company out of the UK. They do a lot of really cool stuff. Their photography on their website, to be frank, is probably some of the coolest I've seen in the menswear space. I'll put some stuff up here. A lot of this stuff you look at it and you say, I have to have that or I want that. And that's exactly what good picture taking and good advertising does. So kudos to Aught Design for whoever your photographer and stylist are, because your photographs are pretty damn cool. Anyways, but I digress. So anyways, Aught Design from the UK, lots of different types of item, mostly for men. They do have a tiny women's section with just a few shirts in it right now. I don't know if that's something they usually stock and maybe they're just out at the moment, or if it's something they're building up, but generally speaking, menswear brand that sort of exists at the intersection of what I'd call tactical wear and heritage wear, then taking a military inspiration to really bring it all together. And I think that makes a really cool thing. So speaking of the military history, military inspiration perhaps, the N-1 jacket is a Navy design introduced back near the end of World War II. Basically, as you'd imagine, if you're talking about a deck coat, something that a sailor would wear on the deck of a ship, while they're serving, to keep them warm from, the sea spray or just the cool temperatures that you get when you're not on land. So something with a little bit of pedigree that we can wear today, both as a nod to those who have served and kept us free over the years, and also, just to be cool, because let's face it, we all like to be cool. So what else are we going to talk about? Of course, as we get on in the video, I'm going to do some close-ups of a lot of the features, talk a little bit about those. I have had this jacket for about a month and have worn it nearly daily in that time, so I do have a pretty good opinion on sort of what's going on with it. We'll get into that at the very end of the video. But yeah, just want to say thanks to Aught Designs for sending this my way for a review. Just want to make sure I say that up front. They let me pick pretty much anything on the website that I wanted to review, and this is what I went for. Really piqued my interest with sort of the two-tone colorway, the history, and then I've always just wanted something in Bedford cord, which is what this is about. More about the fabric on the close-up. But thanks to Aught Design. If you want to check this jacket out on their website, hit the link in the description. And let's stick around if you want to hear more, and we'll get right into it. Thanks. All right, I'm going to take you through, show you a few things about the jacket here. We'll look at the construction and talk about some of the features. First thing, obviously made in the UK right there by our friends over in the United Kingdom. Very cool. I want to talk about the fabric real quick first. So Bedford cord. There's a lot of names for different types of textiles in the industry. So I wanted to show you this. So I'm going to get in close here. So this is a comparison. This is what Ironheart calls whipcord. So obviously you can see it's the same weaving technique as Bedford cord. Then also you've probably perhaps heard of jungle cloth. So jungle cloth is also Bedford cord, which apparently, at least at its inception, had water-resistant properties or some sort of coating put on it. But nowadays, I don't think it's necessarily has to do something like that. But yeah, Bedford cord, very cool fabric. It's a workwear fabric. It's very, very tough. It's not like a normal corduroy. The weave is so tight that the wales are basically non-existent. It feels almost smooth with a little bit of texture, but that type of a weave does give you a lot of extra strength. So one thing to note, I have been wearing this more or less daily for close to a month. So if you see, some random dust, dog hair, other things like that, that's because I've been wearing the jacket and actually using it. Nothing, it's not just been opened is what I'm saying. So it wasn't dirty when it came out. But yeah, so that's enough about the Bedford cord. I think it's a cool fabric. It looks kind of plain from far away, but then you get, you get close and it has some texture. So on this particular colorway, the Sherpa lining or shearling lining is fully synthetic. So it's a combination of acrylic and polyester. On the black colorway, it's actually partially wool. It's a poly wool blend. So it'd be slightly different. I can say though, it's really soft. It doesn't scratch at all. You know, that's exactly sort of one of the reasons why you use a synthetic. You know, it holds up well, and then it's a lot softer, generally speaking, than a wool. It may not have the exact properties of wool as far as water resistance and things goes, but yeah, it's a really soft, really warm, and comfy fabric. So you can see here, it lines the entire interior, except for the sleeves, of course. You know, the sleeves have, I like this. I've seen this before. I've actually never owned a product that has these, but these little vent holes under the armpits. So whenever you're wearing a coat, if you're doing something active outside, those of you that live in cold climates or grew up in cold climates probably know that, you know, you can actually get pretty sweaty when it's cold outside when you're wearing a coat. So cool little feature, just a nice thoughtful thing. The interior is lined with a smoother sort of polyester thing there that's quilted and filled. So the sleeves are going to be just as warm as the body. So I zoomed in on this. There's just so many neat little details. I mean, that's the back of, actually that's the front of the snap here that snaps the interior pocket. So this is where you're going to put your cell phone or whatever. And it feels, the opening feels a little small, but it does go further down. So it does fit a full-size phone. I have an iPhone 15, fits in there just fine. Yeah, here down here we can look at some of the specs. As I mentioned, 100% cotton on the outside, it should say. Yep. And then, yeah, the acrylic poly blend on the inside, sleeve lining nylon. Oh, I said it was poly. It's nylon. But there you go, pocketing 100% cotton. We may not be able to see this, but on the website they call out, oh yeah, you can actually. Okay, so it's actually a different corduroy. It's actually a regular corduroy. And this gives a good, yeah, you can see them both in shot there, so that's cool. You can see a normal corduroy versus a Bedford cord. You can see how different they are, but you feel this on the back of your hand when you have it in the pocket, and it really is quite comfortable. So, and then you've just got the normal, you know, cotton Bedford cord on the inside there. So, what else? All right, let's talk about the zipper. So, Talon zipper. On the website, it says it's YKK. Don't know if that's a new change or if that's something that they're planning on changing, or maybe this is an old version. I don't really know. Or maybe the different colorways have different zippers, and maybe I was just reading the wrong colorway. But either way, Talon zipper. It's heavy duty and it feels nice. I will say it doesn't have the absolute smoothest operation, which, you know, maybe with more time it will. But, you know, it always zips up and it seems really strong and beefy. But I will say it's definitely not the smoothest zipper I've ever had, but it's fine. I want to talk a little bit about the buttons. So when buttons are sewn on, I always feel like I'm going to rip them, just because, you know, when you have a few tiny threads holding something on. Here, a good example, I have my LL Bean P coat over here. I'll just sort of show you what I mean. So sewn on button, right? And then at the end of the day, you've just got thread holding your button on, right? That's it. And yeah, it's probably not going to just rip out, but I mean, it feels a lot more flimsy, and you have to be a little more careful with something like that. So if you can have something like this, where it's part of this much stronger piece of fabric that's then woven through the slots there, you get the same sort of articulation with the button, but that to me looks like it's going to be much stronger than just a few pieces of thread. So I think that's a thoughtful design choice. That's, you know, it looks cool and it's functional, so I certainly appreciate that. And while I have this P coat out, I also wanted to show you this as far as coloration goes. If you guys are familiar with P coats, navy P coats specifically, in most lights they actually look black. It's such a dark navy. True navy is actually really, really dark. So this Phantom colorway here, you can see next to a true navy is really not dark at all. You know, I get a lot of questions about certain things, and you can see there it's a blue. You know, it's sort of a medium blue. It's not anywhere close to navy. And I've got some natural sunlight here coming in from over there, and that's kind of what it looks like. So that's why I had the P coat out. All right, I think we're getting kind of long in the tooth here. talking. So a few more things. I want to show you the cuffs, if I can get them pulled out here. You can see the interior is cuffed with a little bit of elastic. So it seals off the cold from coming out. And I like that the cuffs they're not even close to sticking out. So that way when you wear it, and you'll see that on me in a second, you know, your hand sticks out and it looks normal, but you're not going to get cold. You know, it's again, another very thoughtful design decision by Aught. I'm going to flip this over, show you sort of the last thing I want to talk about. So here's just the back view. And if I haven't said it elsewhere in the video, I think this is the best colorway. I like the blue. I like the contrast with the brown. So you've got these gussets. I can't remember exactly what they call them, but you know, it's something that you see a lot on motorcycle jackets. Anything you have to have your arms forward or you want to be active in. So it's a way that you can keep the jacket from being sort of bunchy here and having a ton of extra fabric, but still letting it stretch out and give you more room when you need to move your arms forward and be active. So you get that on both sides. And again, really thoughtful design decision. They didn't have to do that. They could probably sell this coat for exactly the same price without those, but it does make the jacket much more functional. And I can say for me, wearing this particular medium, it's not big. I think it fits me well and I like it for what I use it for, which is basically wearing over a t-shirt or even a button-down shirt. Not anything super thick, because this is plenty warm on its own. But I do appreciate that extra articulation you get with the design on the back, you know, the edges of the back placket like that. So, but yeah, really well constructed, lots of thoughtful features. And, you know, the first time I've had a Aught design product, I'm pretty blown away at just how nice this thing is, how much I like it, and really sort of the value you get for the money. So, all right, that's it for the up close. All right, if you're still here with me, you must like the jacket or at least think it's kind of interesting, or maybe you forgot to turn the video off. But either way, I appreciate you lasting this long. It's a little longer than I expected. However, final thoughts. So I really, really like this jacket. So like I said in the beginning, this was provided to me free of charge, although Aught has not had any say in what I'm talking about. I never gave them a script or anything like that. They didn't give me any talking points. I've done a lot of jacket reviews. If you go watch those, I don't generally say, you know, superlatives and things like that, but this is probably my favorite jacket I've bought in the last 5 years. Or not necessarily bought, but my favorite jacket I've had in the last 5 years. I like how it fits. I like how it looks. It goes with a lot of different things. The quality is outstanding. Obviously, with 4 weeks worth of wear, you know, I can't comment on the overall longevity of something, but just the way it's put together and the way it feels, the design decisions that I talked about in the close-up, you know, with how the buttons are done and with the gusseting on the back and things like that, it's just a really well thought out product. I feel a lot of times in the fashion industry these days, people they get an idea, they pick a nice fabric or two or maybe, you know, other types of materials, and then they just throw it together to look exactly the way it was supposed to be. If it's a trucker jacket or if it's you know, a logger's overcoat or, you know, whatever it happens to be. I think they took the classic N-1 design and then sort of made it their own, which I really appreciate and I really like. I'm super thrilled to have this in my jacket collection, and it's going to get quite a lot of wear because I live in Colorado and that is a cold climate. So if you have any questions, you know the drill. Drop it in the comment below and I will respond to you. I respond to really everything. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Thanks for your time, everyone. Have a great day.